Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And my brothers and sisters, the stuff that we're about to walk through is from Angus King. Now, he's the co-sponsor and the big main cheerleader of the new Assault Weapons Ban 2.0, the Go Safe Act that they just announced today. But he let some stuff slip just now that I've got to run by you. This is going to blow your mind. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments field. And please send this one out because I don't think he meant to say what I'm about to show you. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And this content is brought to you by Fume. Cold turkey may be a great thing to have on your sandwiches, but it's not the best thing to have to break a bad habit. We're talking about our new sponsor, Fume, and they look at the problem through a different way. Fume is an innovative and award-winning design. Instead of electronics, it's completely natural. Instead of using vapor, it uses flavored air. And instead of using harsh chemicals, it uses all natural flavors. In my own personal experience, Fume actually surprised me a little bit. The make, the weight, the way you fidget with your hand, and also just the quality of materials is something that you guys need to check out. Stopping something is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com/Langley or scan the QR code and use code Langley to get 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. There's a link right down in the description box, and thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring this episode's content. All right, so let's get into this, my beautiful people. We did a live stream earlier about the Go Safe Act, which is all about banning gas-operated rifles. They say it's about magazines, which I'm about to show you, but really, I'm going to be honest, it's about banning rifles. We're not taking any of your guns away. We're just banning them from being made in the future. Yeah, that's not the same. Anyway, listen to this. I want to dive right into this, and I put this first because this is from a clip from CNN. I'm about to show you more from MSNBC, but this is Senator Angus King, and listen to the verbiage he chose here. Listen to this.
These are particularly dangerous, useful only for killing people, and we want to diminish that lethality.
Did you hear that? Let me play it again. This is really, really key because he has never said this before. Listen.
These are particularly dangerous, useful only for killing people, and we want to diminish that lethality.
Diminish that lethality. He did not say stop these things from happening. He did not say get to the root cause. He said minimize lethality. The bill that he just produced, and he's about to go down the road of banning magazines because if you have more bullets in a magazine, you can do more damage, also reinforces the whole point. This is not about stopping anything. This is about minimizing the impact. Again, minimize or diminish the lethality, not stop them from happening. When I catch things like this and my spidey senses kind of go off like a radar, that's a big one. Because that is not usually said. That was on the CNN article. But now, let me change lanes for a second in the exact same vein. Same guy, different channel. This is Mika Brzezinski from MSNBC. Let me show you the propaganda that they had up, and then we're going to blow it apart from orbit. Check this out.
It's been a month since the mass shooting at a bowling alley and restaurant in Lewiston, Maine, that left 18 people dead. A staggering number that only begins to show the magnitude of America's gun problem. The tragedy is one of more than 615 mass shootings in the U.S. this year, and gun violence has killed more than 39,000 Americans so far in 2023.
You know what's so fascinating about this? I'm sure a lot of you guys are screaming out to your phones or whatever device you're watching this. That is directly from the Gun Violence Archive, the 39,000 plus. Yeah, the reason they did 39,000 plus is because that's a 20% decline from the year before. 20%. Those numbers that they're showing you and saying how impactful that number is of 39,000, they're not telling you that that is 2019 levels that they are showcasing right now. A decrease of 20%. They're also not telling you that that 39,000 number is 50% suicides. Didn't tell you that either. That's weird. That'd be around 20,000 each. That's a pretty significantly less number. Then the number 615 mass shootings. Do you guys remember 615 mass shootings? No, you do not, because they did not exist. Those numbers are pulled from the Gun Violence Archive. That is a manipulated statistic to scare people into doing something, like giving up their rights. That's why they're presenting it this way, and that's just the propaganda setup. Now, let's get to Angus King, the sponsor and the cheerleader and the one who's announcing and rolling this assault weapons ban 2.0 out. Listen to what he focuses on.
Necessary and will work. What we're focusing on is the way the gun operates rather than what it looks like.
Okay.
Because if you say you're banning a gun because of what it looks like, the manufacturers can modify the looks and then they escape the ban. So what we're focusing on is the high capacity magazine.
Right.
This is the business end of these things. That's what makes them so dangerous, is when the shooter can keep shooting. So our bill says you have to have a fixed magazine in the gun, 10 bullets maximum, no detachable magazine.
Right.
Is it starting to make sense what he said in the other clip with the other channel? Diminish lethality. So you're talking about reducing from 30 rounds to 10 rounds. Well, that's still, in this application, that's still implying that there's 10 individuals impacted by 10 rounds. That's what you're implying by this. So going back to the earlier slip of the tongue, diminish the lethality. Are they admitting and saying that they can't stop these things from happening because it's something beyond a gun? Because that's what it sounds like. If your whole point is diminishing lethality, and then you lead off in the cheerleading points and talking points is around magazines, when the entire bill, the GO part of Go Safe Act, is gas operated, which is a firearm. There is no magazine that's gas operated. This is starting to stink real hard, and it's only been out under 12 hours. Now, that's what he's pitching as the magazine. But now, let me wrap this up in a nice little bow with something he says at the end. Check this out. Again, this is a sitting senator.
What's the argument to gun owners who want their rights protected and would argue that they should have a right to have this weapon?
Well, the best argument is Justice Scalia, who was really a pro-gun conservative justice, and he made the point that the Second Amendment is not absolute. Like the First Amendment, there are limitations. And he said it doesn't mean that you can use any gun whatsoever in any place whatsoever under any circumstances. So this is really historically consistent with 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago. Machine guns have been heavily regulated, essentially banned, and sawed-off shotguns. Why? Because they're especially dangerous. This is exactly the same pattern that we're going after to say, look, these fit into this category of especially dangerous. We're not taking guns away from anybody, but we're saying you can't manufacture new ones with these detachable magazines.
So we're not taking them away from anybody. You just can't make any more. That's not the same. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so there's a few things that I want to break down, and this could be a whole separate video by itself. One, he goes after Antonin Scalia around the Heller decision, where he put limits and said it's not unlimited. Yeah, well, you know what else he also said? He also leaned on a decision called the Miller decision, and in that decision it said firearms that are in common use are protected by the Second Amendment because they're utilized by the militia. What you gonna say about that, Cupcake? Because that's referencing, you're talking about Antonin Scalia? Well, that was his decision. So come at me. Common use is going to unravel this if it even got off the ground, which it won't because it's DOA. That's one. The other thing about this whole idea of it being an NFA item, well, we essentially banned them by putting a tax on them and you couldn't produce any more of them. These aren't dangerous. These aren't exceptionally dangerous. These are everyday common use rifles. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take them out of the common category, which would make them protected, and they're trying to put them into the extreme or the dangerous or the extremely dangerous, out of the ordinary, to make them exceptional, which would make them bannable. He's utilizing the Antonin Scalia decision in Heller to undermine common use, but at the exact same time say once they're out of common use, see, we can ban them because they're not common use. All the while, diminish the lethality, not stop these things from happening. That is key. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I am Braden, and I will see you then.